Hey everyone, I'm back again with another video with our friend Tommy here, and I thought after my last video, the second video where I had did a montage of Tommy saying to Pat and Ian, I thought I'd go over that video he did for Pat and Ian. It's a bit old, but it's pretty funny to look back and to see what he says in it, and just to give you some context or from what I can understand. Pat and Ian never would want to play by Tommy's rules, and from my interpretation is that this drove him nuts that he couldn't control a narrative with Pat and Ian. So he made this quote-unquote private unlisted video pleading with Pat and Ian to give him a chance, to maybe talk to him and become buddies with him, and if they knew the whole story, or if they were to talk to him directly, or else behind closed doors, that maybe they would change their minds on the project at that point in time. What makes it funny is that now that we've seen how things have unfolded, it was completely unnecessary because Pat and Ian were right all along. But before we check out the Tommy video, I found this clip that I remember seeing a long time ago. It's of a ex-girlfriend desperately trying to talk to her ex-boyfriend. And he's in his car with his current girlfriend, and this video just reminds me of Tommy being desperate. I don't know why, but I draw parallels to this video with how Tommy is begging and pleading for Pat and Ian to talk to him. So check it out. I think it's funny.
Let me talk to you.
No, go away.
Hey, bitch, what's up, bitch? Suck my dick, bitch. Let me talk to you.
Go away.
Let me talk to you. Let me talk to you. Let me talk to you. Let me talk to you.
I had thought that last video was I thought it reminded me of this one that you're about to watch. So let's start this one off, see how it goes.
Hey, I wanted to make a quick video response today.
And his quick video response is 51 minutes, so not that quick. Also notice he's wearing his favorite Flying Tigers hat again. He really likes that hat.
To Pat and Ian over at the CUPodcast. And yeah, first I want to say that I have this video unlisted, so you're watching me because you clicked the link, but I'm not putting this up publicly on my YouTube page. I'm disarming comments on the video. I don't want it to be about that and other people chiming in and this and that.
Well, I guess that didn't work out in the end, did it? Since I'm here chiming in on about it. I'm not too sure if he really wanted this to be private and intimate or just for those two guys, because it sounds like a sales pitch, and him, you'll see as the video goes on, more so him trying to look like the good guy and kind of put Pat and Ian as if they're misinformed or the wrong guys, and he's the good guy. So I don't know about that.
I just wanted to talk to you guys because I think there's been a huge misunderstanding, and especially the way that you guys have been representing how I feel in your videos when we've never had a dialogue. And I think that's, in the 21st century, communication, and, I listen to the way you read my Twitter, and it's like, well, that's not how I intended it at all. I think a lot of this stuff just was,
I'll stop there already, and just let you know I will stop throughout this video, just chiming in with my opinions. But constant issue with Tommy and what we saw in the following several years is his defense for his his poor manners online is that people were just misunderstanding his intentions. But I do like the focus of it's Pat and Ian who are not understanding him, and rather than himself not explaining himself well enough so that the general audience would understand properly. And you'll see more as this video goes of him making excuses which are pretty weak about why people misinterpreted his aggressive statements.
Being built up for no reason and misunderstood. So the best way to communicate is by talking to one another And that's all I've ever wanted to do with you guys. That's all. That's it. And I think what's happened at this
Jump cut.
point, and I, by the way, I don't think you're doing this on purpose, but I think what's happened now is that you're misleading your audience by giving them information on how you feel or how you think I feel. And I don't know, I just think that's a little unfair.
So he's putting the onus on Pat and Ian for misleading everyone with their opinions, but all this could be squashed, or could have been squashed, had he provided all the information. The best place I would assume is on Intellivision.com or Amico.com or whatever the site is. Why does it have to be a private meeting with Tommy for then Pat and Ian to then explain Tommy's intentions to their audience? Like, wouldn't it make more sense if it's just black and white on the webpage of this is what we have, this is how much the price costs? And I like how you suggesting that talking mano to mano is the best way here. And he doesn't understand why they wouldn't want to do it, but I would assume, can't speak for Pat and Ian, that they just don't want, or they're smart enough that they don't want Tommy to try to control the narrative or explain to them so that he can control what they say by controlling the narrative.
Because the way you're portraying me and portraying my feelings about all of this stuff is not right at all. And so because you guys, won't talk to me, I thought I'd make this video, and I want this to come across as...
Why is this about his feelings? I don't know. I don't understand why. What does his feelings matter?
A friendly video. I'm not...
Friendly.
Mad. I'm not... I'm disappointed, but whatever.
He's mad.
I don't know you guys, and I just wanted to kind of go through some of the things, and so that you have a better understanding. You can hear it from me and have a better understanding of how I feel on this whole situation and what my issues were with some of the things you said. I want to start off by saying out of the gate that I welcome opinions. I actually like the challenge when people have questions about the machine and they have, they might have a negative view on it. I actually like that. I engage with that. You can...
I wouldn't quite say he engages it in the negative opinions in a well manner. In the following years, he would instantly react instead of taking his time and either answering the question professionally. The times he engaged on the negative opinions usually resulted in him embarrassing himself or else looking very unprofessional and lashing out and not making the situation better for the company or for himself.
See it all over YouTube, all over Facebook, all over the Atari Age forums. I like to communicate with people. I like to, see if I can, show them what we're trying to do that's maybe a different way for them to thinking. A lot of times people are in their own bubbles and they own...
He is trying to say that other people are in their own bubbles. That's hilarious. Oh my, this aged poorly for him. This guy was in his own bubble, and that bubble is from 1993 or 4.
Only think the way they will, and the best way to learn more about each other's thoughts and opinions is by communicating with each other, and that's what I like to do. I've always done that my entire 30-year career in the industry. And some people like it, some people hate it, but it's just part of kind of who I am. I like to get out there, and so please don't mistake me trying to correct some information for the good of everything. Don't take that as I have harsh criticism against what you're saying. Pat, imagine if...
Cut again.
Somebody...
And just going back to what you just said there, it's not that people don't agree that he shouldn't respond to criticism, it's just how he handled it. And a lot of this criticism could have been avoided had he been transparent like he promised he'd be, and clear in his messaging and marketing. And when everything is mysterious and you don't have solid black and white answers, how are you supposed to not just come up with theories of yourself on your own? and it shouldn't have to require a phone call with Tommy Tallarico to know what the easy answers of what games are coming out, what the price is.
Had one of your books, and they said that the information in the book was wrong. They said that who the heck would ever buy this book, and they got the price wrong and all that stuff. And they said that publicly, to hundreds of thousands of people. Now, wouldn't you be inclined to maybe reach out to that person and say, hey, look, actually, that's not the price of the book. And actually, what you said about what's in the book, that isn't quite accurate as well. And I'd like to give you more information about that, maybe to help you understand more about what the book's about. I think that's fair, isn't it?
I'll just stop there. If he's using this as an example, if I was Pat with my book and somebody had incorrectly put the price or what it was about, Pat could, I assume he has a webpage, or else I haven't looked, so maybe it's just on Amazon, but he could reference, if he does have the webpage or on Amazon, the link for it, and that would provide the information of what the book, official contents of the book would contain in the official price. It's very easy. You don't need a phone call. A quick email saying, hey, you put the wrong price in your article. It's actually this price. Here, look at this for a synopsis of what's in the book. Seems very easy. I don't think a private meeting is needed to clarify that type of error.
I don't know. I don't think I'm attacking or
he does attack.
Never.
He gives examples later.
Wanted to seem like I was attacking you guys at all. If I came across in that way at all, I'll be the first to apologize. But I would
don't
like
think I've ever seen him
go
apologize.
Through, some of the things that you said really quick, and show you what my intentions were. So let's start with this.
He has examples.
Tommy Tallarico, went after us on Twitter. This is the latest way I can put it, and it got more onerous. It's really weird, and it's getting harder and harder for me to be impartial now in terms of me wanting this to be a success or fail. The more I get attacked by Tommy Tallarico, that's all I'm going to say.
Because we had the gall to not immediately say this is going to be the best thing ever.
Okay, I think Tommy's made it personal officially. Can you say that?
Well, he took it personal from the minute go, or the word go, because we had doubts.
Whenever we talk about this, he obviously doesn't agree with our assessment of what's going on with the console.
So let's start there. This is the thing that I had kind of the most issue with, is that you've gone on and said, both you a few times in that segment, that I attacked you on Twitter, that I've made it personal. And so I just want to quickly review the
He just wants to embarrass himself, or else try to justify or twist what he had originally said. And just clips of Pat and Ian. It's just something that this is the beginning. So there was many more times where Tommy took this personal, and well, he made it progressively got worse with his relationship with Pat and Ian, but he did this with other people too.
The facts of the situation to either refresh you guys, because again, I think it's spiraled into something that's very strange and shouldn't be where it is.
I would consider CEOs interacting with YouTube channels as very, very strange, especially if they had any type of criticism. I don't see you don't see the CEOs of Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, anyone, Evercade, even smaller places like Playdate, interact with a YouTube channel that complains and says, "Oh, this is a crap product." You don't see them go and lash out at them. And even if, for example, say if I were to put on my YouTube channel or Twitter or something that the Nintendo Switch is $700, even though it's not $700, you don't see them going out of their way to try to meet me personally to correct my misinformation or my lies or my being misinformed. You don't see them going out of their way to do that, because most companies realize that the average customer is just going to go to the source of the product and find the real price.
So on your very first video that you posted, where you basically read our first press release, that was over a year ago.
I'm not reading press releases. No one reads press releases, by the way. Retails between one...
Ooh, see, he's burning him. I thought this was a video to get on their good side. So he puts a clip of no one reads press releases, and then it says Pat reading our press release. So remember, this is supposed to be directed only to Pat and Ian. Why would he include this here? Like, this seems like a cheap shot. Or this was intended to be circulated to the public so that they realize that, oh, Pat and Ian are liars because they say they never review press releases, and then they do.
149 and 179.
I want to show you here. This is what I left on your video, on that video, the first time. Hi guys, thanks for the coverage.
Jeez,
it was nice
novel.
running into you quick at PRGE. I had run into Pat for about a minute. We had a nice conversation, I think. Anyway, if you're looking for more info, I'd love to do a live stream interview with you guys. You know, meaning I could go on your channel, you could come on our channel, whatever. And by the way, it doesn't even need to be in public. Pick up the phone. I'll call you off the record. Whatever. It doesn't matter to me. So I say, please let me know. Here is some more info and a few comments based on some of the questions and concerns you posted. And then I say I'd like to go into more detail with you, again, over the phone or something like this, you know.
I do like his large story here. If you read it, it's just pretty much a sales pitch. So, talking about how many years experience they have, how that, well, we'll go over it. So he says that 90% of all games sold are E for everyone or E10 plus. Exclusive means no direct ports. Each version will be exclusive to our system, which ended up being a lie. He says, I disagree that the Nintendo Switch is doing a great job of getting families together. Most parents aren't playing the Nintendo Switch with their kids. I am talking about the getting families and friends together. In regards to kid or casual games on the PS4 Xbox, those systems are for non-gamers. My dad can't even turn on the PS4, let alone use the controller, and most non-gamers can't. Smiley face. So he was pushing that narrative a long time ago. And it's that once again, aged poorly. Look how great the Nintendo Switch is doing, and I can't use just my family as an example, but because everyone is different. But for my own family, the Switch is heavily used by my wife and at least one of my children, and we play lots of co-op games. Luigi's Mansion 3 was it's probably the best game we've played for this console generation as like a co-op game. And we played Mario and Mario Party. I made a whole video showing a bunch of the Nintendo Switch co-op games. I'll put the link in the top corner here. And it's just a ridiculous narrative that he's been pushing since the beginning. And I like how his dad can't even turn on the PS4. Boy, I wonder how his dad could use, after we saw the UI, how is his dad going to figure out how to use the Amico? It's so confusing. And I also like the next sentence here. Intellivision Company has 5 people who have been here since 1981. Why does he always pretend that the current iteration of the Intellivision Company is the same as Mattel's offshoot from 40 years ago? It's not the same thing. That's so, it's such a, so, not shady, but it's pretty weak that you're trying to group yourself in with somebody that, like, something that was successful way in the past. And so he goes on about the controllers and the rest of the crap. Same stuff he always says. It's players play.
And so then I just listed a
I also like how he thumbs up his own comment. Good job, Tommy.
whole bunch of things to help better explain because they had questions on them, which is fair. It is absolutely fair.
Starting to get a little excited there. Look, it's fair.
For someone to be skeptical about it, about the console. It's fair to have a bunch of questions. Look, guys, here's the deal. We're 14 months out. You don't know all the information for the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox 2. What the hell are they going to call it? Scarlet? No one knows it. No one's given a list of everything.
And there's a reason why they don't do that. There's many reasons, but even for the smaller companies, not Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, is because things can change. So they don't want to look stupid and promise the moon 2-3 years out before the product is released, only to just disappoint people when over that time they have to make cuts to the product. That's why people don't do that. You don't do it until you're ready and you know what the final iteration of your product is.
Yet, because it's so far out, right? They're over a year. They're farther out just as far as we are. And so what we're doing is that we have to come at this at a different angle, a different perspective, is that we are kind of the new kids on the block, even though we've been around doing video games more than all those other companies, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. But, they're obviously the juggernauts now. But actually, interesting for folks to know.
For folks to know, I thought this was just for Pat and Ian.
Is that Intellivision, we owned 20% of the whole home video game market.
Why does it say we? He was not involved with that part of the company many years ago. He was just a child back then. Back
in the late 70s and early 80s, Atari was the juggernaut. They were amazing. They held 80% and we had 20%. But our 20% was about $500 million a year back then. That was the total revenue that the company was doing. We had 1,800 employees worldwide. It's pretty amazing. 500 million back then's the equivalent of about 1.4 billion dollars today. But so it is.
That has nothing to do with their current iteration whatsoever. And that's 40 years ago. And he even said, we're the new kids on the block again. So nobody knows about the old Intellivision and the old brand. So just in that statement, it puzzles me why they would try to bring back the brand, because it is a dead brand. So at this point, they'd have to make no difference using Intellivision as the name or any other name, since nobody knows about it. It's
pretty amazing how successful Intellivision was back then, even though they were way second fiddle to Atari. So you can imagine how big Atari was, right?
What happened to that iteration of Atari, Tommy?